about a number of different tips that will help you sell social media management services more effectively as an agency owner. If you could just let me know that the sound is working okay, that the deck is visible on the screen. Use the chat box. You'll see you all have access to the chat box, so please use that. Let me know that everything's working okay, and then we will kick things off once I've heard from a few of you. Okay, cool. Todd, welcome back, loud and clear. Candice says all good. Tim says good to go. Chris 104, I have no idea what that means, but I'm guessing that means everything is good. Awesome. 10-4. Okay, got it. Sweet. Okay, so we didn't have a webinar last week because it was the 4th of July, so I didn't think it would make sense to have one. We're back this week, looking forward to running through today's session with all of you. I think we're just going to jump straight into things today because I do have a fair amount of content. I think we have 32 or 33 slides, so I want to make sure I get through all of this and make sure this is as valuable as possible for all of you. So let's just jump straight into the deep end, kick things off. For those of you whose name don't recognize or haven't seen before, please let me know if this is your first time watching one of these webinars. If it is, just say yes in the chat box. Let us know it's your first time here. And maybe let me know where you're tuning in from today as well. I'll tell you a bit more about myself, the webinar series, why we do these in a second. So let's get into things. Today we're going to cover 3 kind of core areas. So we're going to start to talk about understanding social media management as a service, how you can prove the value of social media marketing to your clients, and then 4 or 5 tips to help you better sell your agencies. And hey there, Tim, welcome. First time from Massachusetts. Good to have you here. So for those of you who haven't been on one of these webinars before or haven't followed my content, don't know who I am, let's talk about why these webinars are a thing, and then we'll talk about me very, very briefly. So this is part of the wider Agency and Freelancer Academy series put together by the... If you don't know, Promo Republic have an agency-specific platform, an agency-specific version of their solution, which all of you, if you're running social media marketing agencies, should definitely take a look at and test and maybe utilize. But when they launched this agency-specific solution last year, Max, the co-founder of Promo Republic, approached me and asked me if I could help support them to build out a very strong educational platform and supportive environment for other agency owners and freelancers within the social media marketing world. So I don't actually work full-time for Promo Republic like many of you here. I run my own marketing agency. I run a paid acquisition agency, focus on Google ads and Facebook ads and landing page design and creation for SaaS and tech businesses. But aside from that, I do a lot of work with other agency owners. I have my own and multiple different coaching programs. I have a podcast. I speak at social media marketing events all around the world. The list could go on, but I love supporting people like you here and helping you grow your agencies, grow your businesses. So I'm by no means affiliated with, or I guess I'm affiliated with Promo Republic. I'm definitely a brand ambassador. I love the team. I love the product. I love the solution. But just to let you know, I'm not like a full-time employee here. Actually, I'm here to help you, to support you, to guide you, and to help Promo Republic lead that situation. So we have this Agency and Freelancer Academy. We have a Facebook group called the Agency and Freelancer Academy, so please go ahead and join that if you haven't done so already. I think there's about 500-600 people there. We put on these webinars usually every single week, sometimes 2 a month. It depends how we're feeling. We put together one big online live summit usually every 6 months or so. The last one was in January. We have lots of great blog posts specifically tailored towards all of you and helpful articles, etc., etc. So that's a little bit about me, a little bit about the Agency and Freelancer Academy and why we're doing the webinar series. And I would encourage you to go onto the Promo Republic YouTube channel and check out some of the previous episodes of this webinar series if you can, because we have put together, I think, maybe even 30 of these webinars now. I stopped counting after a little bit of time. Before we jump straight into the content, we are at the moment putting together a huge report focused specifically on the state of the marketing agency landscape, I guess. So I'm asking all of you, if possible, to go and take 2 or 3 minutes of your time to fill out this survey to answer a few questions for the State of Marketing Agencies in 2019 report. I'm going to put the link right now to complete this in the chat box of this webinar. It'll be some very, very simple questions, and everyone who enters will be, or who fills in the form, will be entered with a chance to win 1 year free subscription to the Promo Republic agency solution, so it's definitely worth your time. You'll also be the first to receive the report when it's complete, and you'll be able to network with some other agency owners too and learn a bit more about them and their businesses. So if you do have the time, it should only take you 3 or 4 minutes. Please go ahead and complete that survey. Could somebody just let me know that they can see the link in the chat box, that appeared okay for you if I jump into today's content? Awesome. Thank you, Todd. Cool. So let's get into today's content. We're going to start talking about understanding social media management as a service. Now, before I jump into that, how many of you are currently offering marketing and social media management as a service to your clients? Let me know. If you are new here, you'll realize that I like to keep these webinars very engaged and interactive, so please be prepared to type away every so often to answer some questions. It will make sure that this webinar is even more engaging for you and helpful for you. Okay, so Todd is, Laura is, Anne is, Candice is, so is Ariel. Okay, do we have anyone that isn't offering social media management as a service right now? Tim manages the social and digital. Okay, do we have anyone that doesn't offer social media management as a service? Let me know. Because if you're all already offering social media management as a service, I maybe don't need to go into a ton of depth in this section of the webinar. I actually took this content from a webinar I did last night for an agency franchise group where all of the franchisees, very few of them were social media marketing as a service. Actually, they were all just doing SEO, website design, development, content creation, but none of them were doing social media management. So I took this section from that webinar because I put together some interesting ideas and thoughts behind why social media management as a service is powerful and important. But if all of you are already offering that, then maybe we don't need to go into too much depth. I can see Gerald says they're looking into it, so maybe I'll cover the move on because I don't want to be preaching to the choir. I think that's the term, right? That's the saying. So I just pulled together a couple of statistics around the benefits and the reasons behind social management, why it should be offered. I found really 2 interesting stats, or actually 3 or 4 even, that I wanted to share with you. The first one is this. 90% of marketers say that social media marketing has increased their business exposure, and 66% of marketers that have spent at least 6 hours on increasing the number of leads for their businesses or for their clients' businesses. So those 2 statistics alone, if you're ever ask the question, why should we offer social media management, or why should we do social media even for our business? These are 2 good stats that you can lean on immediately. I think no matter what kind of clients you work with, social media marketing can definitely be a tool that helps them grow their business and in turn helps you grow yours, because that's what we're here for, right? So we've already asked how many of you currently offer social media marketing as a service. It looks like most of you do. This next slide is another reason why it's really, really important. 30% of millennials say that they engage with a brand on social at least once per month. Just a few years ago, you could definitely get away with building a social media marketing strategy on the fly. As long as you were present, you were doing more than your competitors. Once a month. I also read a stat talking about how it plays a huge factor in their purchasing decisions. I know it does for me personally. This is only going to continue to grow. So as an agency delivering services for your clients, they have to be active on social media. You have to be doing a good job here. Otherwise, they're going to be losing out to the competition a ton. But a lot of you know that already. I was then going to discuss some more reasons why you should be offering social media marketing as a service, but I don't think we need to go into this today because it looks like most of you are. One thing that I do want to share is this really valuable article that I found. Maybe I can actually share my screen, or I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll get the link. I will share my screen with you just briefly to show you this article. And then what we can do is I'll share the link to the full article in the comments or in the chat box section so that you can take a look at it there. I think that's a good way to approach this. So if you could all let me know. I should be sharing my screen right about now. Let's go to this article. Oh, that's the wrong link. Give me 2 seconds, everyone. Okay. Okay, here we go. Can you see this article? 18 reasons why your business needs social media marketing. Yep, awesome. Okay, so I'm going to share the link to this article as well straight into the chat box on today's webinar. This is an article by Carrie DePhillips. Carrie spoke at the last summit we put together. She runs the Content Factory. This blog post is super, super valuable. I definitely recommend you all check it out, especially if you ever have that question from your clients as to why should they listen to you? Why should you do social media marketing for their business? Because there are tons of compelling reasons here, different advantages, etc. So driving targeted traffic, helping boost SEO, increasing reach. You can see the list. I think there's 18 different reasons here, and Carrie goes into depth into all of these with a ton of useful, beneficial statistics as well. A lot of you have seen how much I love utilizing statistics, and these are great ways to help your clients understand the value of social media marketing. But we're going to talk about that more in depth in a moment. So I'd really recommend you check out this article at some point if you can. And I should have shared the link to that in the chat box as well. Okay, so back to the presentation and to the next point that I wanted to cover, following on from that article I just showed you by Carrie, is how can we prove social media marketing? Okay, Todd, I'm sorry about that. I'm not too sure. Well, I know why there are audio problems. It's this webinar software, as you know, because I know you've been here a number of times before, because there should be no issues with my audio setup. It's the webinar software, unfortunately. So if the problem persists and it gets really bad, then please do let me know. Can you all still hear me okay, aside from that? Aside from a couple of ins and outs? Can everyone hear me? Okay. Okay, mostly good. Okay, thank you everyone. So let's continue and talk about how to prove the value of social media marketing. Now, I wanted to share this statistic first. 55% of social marketers say their ROI from social media. How many of you have this problem, have this issue with your clients? Give me a yes if you do. If you struggle to show the ROI, it can be really hard. So we're going to talk about how to reposition that question, that dreaded question of what is the ROI of social media, and how to show your clients results that they really care about, because this is really important. It's a question that all agencies will inevitably face at some point, and one that is, without doubt, incredibly complicated to answer, because channels like paid search, what we do for our clients, channels like paid search, SEO, email, they all have very clear paths to revenue generation, but telling that story with social is more complicated and more difficult. If you're frustrated with having conversations around ROI with your clients, don't worry, you're not the only ones. As it's clear in the chat, look at everybody that said they're having these issues. It's a common problem that comes up. So we're going to talk about how you can successfully navigate that question. Because yes, you can generate leads and revenue from social media. Social media is much more than just a place to be blasting sales messages and generating leads. Often we do struggle to quantify our ROI on social media, because as a channel, it plays so many different roles. And to navigate that question of what is the ROI of social media, we have to start thinking about the different roles that it plays. And the way that I do this with clients and recommend that other people do this with their clients is to begin any process by defining goals. So if you're going to start managing a client's social media, start by sitting down with them and defining their goals and discussing what impact their goals will then have on their organization as a whole. Ask them what they want from social to begin with and let the conversation flow from there. For me, as I said, social media is not just a place to blast sales messages and hope for revenue. So many other areas. Just a conversation with someone a couple hours ago talking about how I see social media marketing, I see content creation as the new modern storefront, the shop window almost. If you're not present on social, if you're not showing up, if you're not frequent, if you're not creating and sharing good content, then you're leaving your store window open or leaving it empty. These are some initial goals that your clients will probably say. They'll say things like, okay, we want to improve our brand awareness. We improve our community engagement, or you maybe even feed these ideas to them. And once you have these initial surface level goals, you have to then choose the metrics that indicate success off the back of those goals and set some justifiable and quantifiable KPI driven goals with them. So For things like increased brand awareness, you can start looking at audience growth. Increased web traffic, you can look at, of course, clicks, website visits. You can be looking at things like the number of incoming messages received, the number of replies sent, the number of shares, mentions. It doesn't all have to be related to strict ROI numbers from a point of, okay, we spent X amount on social and we generated X amount in sales. You need to start reframing that discussion with your current clients and reframing it to begin to look at what's the wider business value from social, not just a lead generation standpoint. When I'm selling my paid marketing efforts to people, our Facebook ads and our Google ads, it's different. I can say to them, okay, like we've spent X amount on this campaign and it generated you this much in sales. It's very, very clear and simple to show ROI. From social media, it just isn't. I think we all have to agree the fact that it isn't easy to show ROI from social media in terms of a monetary standpoint, but instead we have to just reframe that conversation with our clients. So those of you that haven't listened to me before, haven't seen my webinars before, I actually used to work for Hootsuite. Some of you will know the company Hootsuite, and my role there was to work with Fortune 500 CMOs and executives on implementing social media into their digital transformation strategies and seeing the value of social for how they can get close inquiries, connect with new potential customers too. And we weren't selling on hard bottom line ROI metrics. We were selling on wider business objectives like increasing the number of people that they're reaching, improved brand advocacy, more people mentioning them, etc., etc. So with social media marketing, me personally, my experience over the last 4 or 5 years is like not shying away from the ROI conversation, because you're going to have it at some point, but just reframing it into a slightly different approach to that conversation. And then once you've set these goals, you're starting to deliver on these with your clients, this is what you report back to them on a monthly, weekly basis, however you like to structure things. Is that useful for everyone? I can see Laura says it's useful. Hopefully that is starting to make some sense for some of you. I know we're going fairly fast today, but I do have a lot of content I want to run through, and I'm also conscious of your time as well. I know that if you're going to spend 35, 40 minutes with me on a webinar, it's going to have to be useful and beneficial for you. One thing we do always do is stop for Q&A at the end of the session as well. So I love to take questions as we go through, but if you have any questions you want to bring up at the end, then we'll have plenty of time to cover those. So we're now going to talk about how to introduce social media marketing to your clients. Now, some of you won't need to do this as that's the service that you're offering already. And some of you may recognize a couple of these slides, or this one in particular from a previous webinar we did about cross-selling and upselling. But if you are watching this webinar, I know that you're already offering some kind of digital marketing service, whether it's SEO, content, whatever it might be. So that means it's easy for you to quickly introduce social marketing as a new revenue stream if you're not already. Or maybe this is an idea for me to help you out to generate revenue for your agency by offering social media marketing, or helping you improve that service offering to your current clients. So how many of you have heard of or understand what cross-sell is or what an upsell is? I'm 90% sure that all of you will have done. But just in case, I thought I would use a food analogy here because it's a very easy way to show this. Upselling is this practice of encouraging customers to purchase a higher end product than the one in question, while cross-selling invites customers to buy complementary items, right? So in this example, the upsell is asking the customer if they want to get a larger drink, whereas the cross-sell is saying to them, hey, look, you've ordered this this burger, do you know what might go really, really well with that? It's some fries and a drink, right? They combine together very, very well. And cross-sells and upsells are present and popular in pretty much every kind of business. Yet for some reason, as agency owners, we often forget to do these things. How many of you can honestly say that you are actively trying to upsell and cross-sell your clients? Give me a yes if you are. Because I know a couple of you might be, but honestly, if you're being honest with yourself, I don't think you all will be. Let's see how real people are going to be, or how great agency is. Okay, so apparently everyone is upselling and cross-selling their clients, which is awesome if you are. But hopefully you can see where I'm going with this. Like, social media marketing is a fantastic cross-sell opportunity. It's adding value to many of the services you're already offering for your clients. So if you already have the tools available to you by using things like Promo Republic, there's no reason for you not to be offering these social media management services to your clients. Okay. So the best time to try and cross-sell, upsell your customers, I thought this was an interesting slide to add in as well, because sometimes some of you might not understand the best times to test this out. As we said earlier on, upselling customers occurs in every single industry. So whether it's offering an extended warranty on that new computer you just purchased, maybe it's carry-on luggage for your flight. Upselling social media management or any other digital marketing service really is no different. So I think to just share some statistics with you, I found a stat that said to me the probability of upselling an existing customer is 60 to 70%, whilst the probability of selling to a new prospect is only 5 to 10%. So you can already see a huge increase in conversions from upselling. I can see Todd says, I actually used it as a downsell recently. They didn't want 6-month local SEO, but this totally intrigued them and I sell a shorter contract for you. There you go. So social media marketing can also be a downsell opportunity as well. Now, these are some key ideas of when you can try and upsell or cross-sell clients during that initial pitch phase, once you achieve a milestone, or maybe during one of your check-in meetings. I'm going to show you a little bit later on a price anchoring strategy that you can utilize as well. And I can see Julia says, I focused on web design, but I'm now moving to more digital services. I did not want to do social due to time, but now I've discovered Promo. Yeah, so I can show you some ways that you can save even more time with Promo Republic as well. Before we do that, though, I want to cover a couple of general upselling tactics, and then we'll go into some very specific how to sell social media management as a service in a better way to your current clients. Does that sound good to everybody, that kind of structure? Sounds good. Okay, cool. Thanks, Todd. Thanks, Julia. So some general upselling tactics. So it's going to be 3 that I'm going to run. One is offering a premium version of your service. Simple, but super, super effective. So in the retail world, this is like when you go to buy an iPhone and then they offer you, okay, you can have that iPhone, or you can have this one with an extra 200 gig of storage for X amount more, right? This is one way. It's a premium product. Or maybe, okay, you can buy the iPhone, or for a special discounted price, you can get the iPhone along with the AirPods and the wireless charger for a discount. So this is one way, offering a premium version of your service. For many agencies and people like you listening to me today, it can be as simple as offering just more of the same service. I don't know how you price your social media management, but if you do, let's say 30 social media posts a month, you can offer 60 instead. Or maybe you write 10 blog posts a month, you can do 15 or 20 the next month. Like just adding an extra layer to that service, offering a more premium version. Or you can even add an extra level of service. Maybe they can have some more of your one-to-one time, or a dedicated support person, X amount of additional calls per month, or more reporting, something like that. Now, the second tactic is offering a complimentary service. This is a great way to do upsells or earlier on day. So maybe you are offering SEO for your clients and you want a way to, they might want a way to distribute that content that you're writing. Social media management can be a fantastic way to do that. Maybe you're driving additional traffic for your clients through your creative social media marketing, driving additional traffic to their website. So a good complementary service to that could be managing their remarketing campaigns for them. There are a lot of different cross-sell opportunities, downsell opportunities with social media marketing, and this is a fantastic tactic to easily bring upselling and cross-selling into your daily repertoire. The third and final point here, before we get into social media marketing specifics, is using price anchoring. How many of you have heard about price anchoring or test this out or tried this in the past? Because my story behind this is like, what's the best way to sell a $2,000 watch? It's to put it next to a $10,000 watch, right? I read a book recently, a few months ago now, actually, if I'm honest with you, called Sell It Like Serhant by Ryan Serhant, who is a real estate sales guy, right? And he talked about this story where the way that he shows people high value properties is he finds out what their budget is. The first home he shows them matches everything they want and more. It's absolutely incredible, and he knows it's out of their budget range. The second home he shows them is, again, matches everything they want. It's ever so slightly out of their budget range. And the third home matches their budget. Now, often because they see the most incredible home first, when they see the middle home that's slightly above their budget, they'll often be happy to go with that, even though at first they maybe couldn't afford it or weren't sure if they could afford it, because price anchoring has And this on the screen, this isn't from my agency, but this is another agency that I found online. The way they're price anchoring, it's through multiple different packages, and you can see the way that they're anchoring those. So a $3,000 a month, $6,000 a month, $10,000 a month. They'll probably start by showing the premium package to someone on a sales call, and then say, okay, we do also have the pro or the basic. And I would imagine most people would go for the pro, which is middle of the road. But you can see if they just went with the basic, the pro is a simple tactic that you can use to help you generate more revenue for your agency and just sell more of your services. Now, we promised 5 tips to help you better sell your agency services. So far, we've covered 3, but I want to jump into a couple more. And these next 2 are just very specific to social media management and social media marketing, because I know that's what you're here for. It was very, very clear at the beginning. Many of you were offering social media management as a service for your clients. So I want us to deep dive into this a little bit. Now, how many of you are using Promo Republic at the moment for your social media? Social, maybe some of the other tools. Let's take a look and see. Okay, so some of you have just started, some of you are using Promo. I'm sure there'll be some people here using other tools as well. So let's talk about ways that you can improve selling social media management, because how many of you do find it difficult? How many of you find business owners saying to you, oh, it sounds great, but I don't see the ROI there, or oh, I could get somebody to offer or do my social management for $100 a month. Why would I work with you? How many of you have that problem? Because I did this webinar yesterday, a different webinar yesterday, said for a franchise, and I know that a lot of the issues people were facing were business owners saying, well, I can outsource that to someone for $100 a month. Why would I work with you? So we're going to cover a couple of ways that you can stand out and add more value to your service. That's very, very simple. So the first one, what I'm sharing here is what I personally think is very, very good quality social media posts, right? For a variety of reasons. Some of them are very, very interesting. Some of them are very engaging, like the one about wine in the top left corner, like for red, share for white. The bubble tea one looks really, really beautiful. These are all very, very good, simple, quality pieces of content that you can put together. I wanted to talk about not just selling on service of social media management, not just selling on creating 30 posts a month or X amount of posts a week on Facebook, X amount on Twitter, not using that as your sales point. Instead, selling on the fact that you do have the ability and the team and things in place to help you create incredible, high quality, branded content for your clients that will drive conversations and in turn boost brand awareness and boost community building around their business and their brand. Now, all of these posts that you're seeing on the screen right now were actually taken from the post ideas library within Promo Republic, within the dashboard. I didn't even do anything to these right now. So I'm just going to show you, actually we'll do it in a minute. I'll show you what this looks like in a second. But let me see if I can do this real quick. There's a couple of things I wanted to show you that I think some of you will find interesting. So all of these pieces of content on the screen, I think you'd all agree with me, they're very good quality pieces of social content. And this is how I want you to think about selling social media marketing and management as a service, not just X posts per month, right? I want you to be focusing on quality content creation, etc. Now, how many of you can see my screen right now? Awesome. Okay, so this is where I took them from. Take a look at this. Within Promo Republic, within this post ideas library, this is one of the most things about Promo Republic is we have all of these posts here ready to go, ready for you to use. Loads and loads of ideas, over 100,000 different post ideas. And you can edit all of them, change all of them, use your client's branding. If you use the agency-specific solution, you can have separate workspaces set up for your different clients that you can switch between at the click of where all of their branding is stored, etc. So you can quickly add in their logos, change the fonts, change the colorings, etc. But just to walk you through what this looks like, I just went to food and restaurant. That was all I did. And look, I just used the posts directly themselves, didn't change anything. But what you can do is click here, click on the post, and just like in some of you maybe use Canva or Adobe Spark, we can come in here and we can edit absolutely everything within the post itself. Now I know my screen sharing might be a little bit slow, but we have the full ability to edit everything. You could add in logos, change fonts, change very, very quickly. Very, very fast as well. And then what you can do is you can either use this, you can send it, you can post it, or you can, if you use the agency specific version of Promo Republic, which some of you may have heard of, take a look at this over here. Can you see my mouse just moving around? Propose this post for approval. I don't know if you can see my mouse. Hopefully you can. But instead of having to go backwards and forwards on emails and Google Sheets, etc., you can just schedule the post and propose it for approval. So let me select Promo Republic Facebook page and then hit schedule. I want to propose it for today, 12:30. Schedule the post. And you'll see my client will then be alerted about this. So you don't have to go backwards and forwards on email. They'll be alerted, and then they can log in to Promo Republic, or if you want to get real fancy, look at this. This is a white labeled version of Promo Republic. So if you utilize the agency software, the agency specific version of Promo Republic, one of the benefits is you can have it fully white labeled, just like this. We did this white labeling off the back of Valentine's Day, just as a bit of fun. That's why you see the pink love heart. But you could have your own logo up here, your own agency name here, your own agency name as the URL, and your clients could come and they would see this as though it's your own agency tool, right? And they could approve the post. They'd see it like so. They can approve, they can edit, they can add some suggestions, etc. This is something that's absolutely incredible about the agency-specific solution of Promo Republic. So I think the white label element of this is absolutely awesome. But I just wanted to show you this because it isn't difficult to differentiate yourself by selling on incredible content, high quality content. But as an agency owner, it doesn't have to take a lot of time. We have all these post ideas for you ready to go, right? Which is really, really important. And then something else that I think some of you find useful. Let me go back to my, can you see my presentation deck again right now? Let me know if you can see my presentation deck. You can. Okay, fantastic. So this right here, someone mentioned this earlier on in the webinar, but Promo Republic do also offer tailored content bundles. So the team at Promo Republic will actually create content for you and for your clients as part of a service offering. So professional content services. Now, you can start with a personal set of 20 templates that can all be edited as well, and they can be set up for your clients. So if you're struggling with time, yes, you can have the tailored content bundle as well, and it's very, very cost effective too. And I'm going to share with you some ways that you can learn more about that and set that up if you would like to. Is that interesting for any of you? I'm not expecting you to like commit to it right now, don't worry, but I thought I would share this on the screen just to let you know that it is a possibility within the agency solution. Also, there's these different services that Promo Republic offer. Okay, so the second, or the, I guess, fourth or fifth tip of mine about how to add more value from your social media management services when you're selling them, and to sound more than just, okay, 30 posts a month. Look at this from a community management side. So your clients that you're working with, right? You're creating content for them. You're going to be focusing on trying to build a community, drive conversations, get people to their stores, get people to purchase from them, and you can start building communities online. Now, you can offer this as a value add to your services. Not all agencies will do this, some creation, but they won't manage the curating of a community or the responding to questions, to comments, etc. And I know that that can, in the past, take time, right? But with the agency-specific solution of Promo Republic, there's another way that you can very, very quickly significantly save a large amount of time whilst offering this as a value add to your services. So take a look at this. In this monitoring tab, can you see my screen again? I just want to double check. Let me know if you can. I can see it, so hopefully you can all see my screen. Yep, you can. So in the agency-specific solution for Promo Republic, there's an add-on called monitoring, very cost-effective, and you could have a list over here on the left of your client. You can also, top right-hand corner, you can switch between different pages and workspaces, so you can separate out your clients. But this here, this tab, the mentions or the monitoring section, is where we can collate and collect any branded mentions, any shares, any people talking about your brand or your client's brands, comments, all mentions across multiple social platforms, even including Google My Business, which I know will be important for a lot of you. You can collect all of them from all the different platforms right here, and you can resolve them, you can answer them, you can see them all directly from this dashboard itself. You can see a bit of information about the person that's mentioned you, resolve, answer, everything will be here. So imagine the amount of time that's going to save you not having to log into all the platforms individually and collect all the different reporting, I guess, but also think about how you can offer this as a value add to your clients to show more reasons to why they should work with you and not outsource their social media marketing to someone for $100 a month. This is another significant value add for you and for them, right? So this is something else to think about. Now, I don't want to go super into a full-scale demo of Promo Republic or the agency-specific solution, but something else is we have some really great reporting and statistics built into the dashboard. All of this can be white-labeled again, as I said earlier on. Reporting back to your clients is very, very key, very, very important. You can see all your different posting formats. You can export these reports. You can filter by different things. So we can see the metrics on this post, for example. We can go back and take a look at total likes, total reach, etc. You can go in and look at the statistics tab, which gives you more in-depth on each post, post efficiency, etc., etc. And you can export all of this for your client view. So as I said, I'm not going to give you a full rundown, a full demo of the agency version of Promo Republic, but these are just a couple of the huge or very, very interesting value adds that I think some of you will find useful. Now, just before we continue I have one more tip and then a couple more things to share with you. But before we do that, if any of you are interested in the agency-specific solution of Promo Republic, whether you have a couple of questions or you just want to see it in action, I'm going to give you the opportunity now to actually schedule a phone call with a member of the Promo Republic team. So I'm going to put a button on the screen for the next 5 minutes. Now, once those 5 minutes are up, I'm not going to show this button again. It will be the only opportunity you have to schedule a call. Now, on this, you can ask questions you have, find out more about the solution, see it working. But more importantly, for you, we'll add a special offer to anyone that schedules a call from today's webinar. You'll be offered a special discount on top of the current price of the agency solution if you go ahead with it. Everyone that sets up a call with the team will also be given some really interesting pieces of content. So you'll be given a resource sheet with tips and tricks to help you grow your agency business and other things that you can be using to deliver a better service for your clients. You'll also receive the first 8 webinars that I put together, all of the decks and all of my notes for all those webinars. You'll also be able to find out about the content bundle, the monitoring, anything else we mentioned. If you have any questions about any of those things, go ahead and set up a call with the team. And they'll know that you came from today's webinar, so they'll know about the special discount offering and everything else involved too. And then anyone that goes on to become an agency customer as a result of one of those calls will also be entered into the opportunity to win a one-to-one consulting call with myself as well. So if you have a small question, a large question, you want to see the platform itself working, you want to see how the white label works, anything at all to do with the agency-specific version of Promo Republic, go ahead, schedule a call using that link. You'll be given a special, and I believe I'm always told there are only 5 calls available. So once those 5 calls are gone, you won't be able to book on, and once this 3 minutes is up, I'm not going to show the link again. So even if you're just slightly curious, I would recommend you to set something up so you can learn how Promo Republic can help you in your business. Now let's continue. The 5th and final, well, actually it's the 6th tip from me about how to increase your revenue from social media management is to actively ask for referrals. It's a fact that people rather do business with people that they know or people that they know of, right? It's really, really important. Many of us, we forget to ask for referrals. We don't pursue them as much as we should, even though when someone does make a referral, we know that business is much more likely to close. For some reason, we don't actively pursue it. So my 5th and final tip is to make sure you're actively asking for referrals. Some ways that you can start introducing new habits to your day-to-day to help you with this is things like when you begin working with a new customer, make sure that referrals are part of your initial agreement. I've started putting our referral program into our proposals now. So when I'm going over a proposal on a call with a client, I'm letting them know that if they refer us to anyone, they will receive a kickback from us. Whenever a customer compliments you, ask them if they say like, okay, they said they're happy. I'm really pleased you are happy with my work. Do you know anyone else who could benefit from my services. Maybe use all of your client meetings as opportunities to collect referrals. Maybe you could set some weekly referral goals for yourself in terms of how many you should ask for. There are lots of different ways you can start actively pursuing them. So make sure you go ahead and do that. And only fair that a lot of you will be looking at some of the competition as well. If you are new here, you'll be looking at all these other tools. This is how honestly Promo Republic stacks up against these from an agency perspective, an agency standpoint. And I can definitely talk about Hootsuite as well because I used to work there. Now we put together a little calculation for anyone who manages, let's say 30 social media profiles for your clients, and you have team members and you want to have white labeling of the tool, you want to have the brand monitoring and mentions, etc., etc. You can save anywhere from $600 to $5,400 every single year by choosing Promo Republic over the competition. And I definitely think the feature set and what you have available to you is very, very, very high quality and much better than the number of these. No one else has content library with over 100,000 post ideas. Nobody else has the content as a service. Very few people have good white labels as well, especially for this price point. So the agency package actually starts from $99 a month for Promo Republic, which is extremely cost effective. So if you do have questions, there are 38 seconds left to schedule onto a call. We break the agency solution down into 3 different areas, I guess. So the creation of content, the collaboration with your clients, and the reporting. These are the 3 key areas where it can save you time, help you serve more clients, and more importantly, increase the efficiency of your agency. And that is all through the graphics editor that we talked about, the Canva-like graphics editor, through the collaboration platform where you can work in tandem with your clients. Every client has their own customer manage all of your clients with ease and quickly switch between them and their branding pieces, etc., etc. So that's everything from me today. I really hope you found today's webinar session useful. I can see the call to action button just disappeared. So hopefully some of you had time to schedule a call. If you didn't, then unfortunately it's probably going to be too late now. But I'm going to stop and I'm going to take. If you decide to leave us here, then I want to say a big thank you. Thank you for joining us. I do hope you found it beneficial. I hope you found it insightful. As I said, we put on these webinars usually every single week, sometimes every other week. So I hope to see you again if you're leaving us now. If you do have questions, though, please get them in. And thank you to everyone for spending the last 45 minutes with me today. I really, really appreciate it. Hi, Lam. So Lam's question is the content special $99 per client? Special, like if you want the content bundle, it's priced individually per bundle. No problem. I actually forgot to ask if the link was working. So did anyone click the button on the link? Were you able to schedule a call? Please let me know. Just because if you weren't, then it's important that I would reshare it. If someone booked a call, can let me know that they were able to get on, that would be fantastic. Or if someone clicked the link, just to let me know that it did work out okay. I checked everything beforehand, but but I should have checked we were going. And then any questions related to agency stuff, growing your business, etc., please do let me know. Lam, so there should have been a button that appeared on the screen. Ah, you want the bundle, okay. So if you set something up with the team using the button that I shared on the screen. Good question, Joel. So as you know, my agency, we focus on paid ads. I don't charge based on ad spend. We charge a flat monthly retainer up to a certain point, and then we charge 10% on ad spend. So we charge a flat fee of €2,500 every single month. €4,000 a month. But if they're spending 100,000 a month on ads, then our fee is 10,000 a month. I hope that helps. Awesome. Nice. 15% is great. Does anybody else have any questions? I appreciate that. Thank you, Joel. Okay, so if nobody else has any questions, I think I will start to wrap things up. Larry, you will be able to find a replay on the YouTube channel, the Promo Republic YouTube channel, in the next couple of days, so you can check it out there. Hopefully, some of you managed to schedule a call with the team to learn a bit more about the Agent Civic solution. I really hope that I will see some of you in future webinars also. So I'm going to wrap things up right now, but thank you, everyone. I do appreciate your time, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again soon.